Hello, 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 and welcome back to Kitchen Table Talks with Kat, episode 4. In today's episode, I'm just going to briefly chat about my personal feeling of mid-year burnout. As I was sitting at my table, going through all the journals that I have assigned to write certain things in, I found myself scouring the internet to write something down, not my commonplace book, but just to finish out my A6 Hobonichi one that I bought that I was going to do watercolor in every day, which only lasted about 3 months because I ran out of things to draw or to paint. And I'm not really into painting flowers after flowers after flowers. That's just not my jam. I like doing abstract or scenery or different things. I always have to keep changing. And I guess that might be because of my ADHD and autism. I do try to practice certain drawing things over and over again because that's what they always tell you. You keep practicing, you'll get better at it or evolve how you draw. But I realized when I was forcing myself to look through the internets to find something just to write down so I could fill up the pages, my brain just felt like mush. I realized that, what am I doing? Why am I forcing myself to do this? And I realized that it wasn't good for my mental health and it wasn't good for me. And I look at the clock and it's like 2 hours passed by and I personally didn't feel like I achieved anything. And now I'm not putting myself down or anything. It's just I realize that if it's not bringing me joy, I need to put it away. And I understood that message from yesterday when I was watching Beverly Plans. I think it was February or March of this year. She just she got stuck. She was overwhelmed with her decision of she's using rings. Is she using a regular book for a planner? What is she planning? What is she writing? What type of journaling is working for her? And I just kept that in the back of my mind. And I thought that might be what's happening to me too, is that I just feel overwhelmed or just burnt out. It is already June. In 6 months' time, it will be December. And then we start this cycle all over again. And this year, my word of the year is change. And a lot has changed in the last 6 months. And I just am trying to embrace it. And it's hard when you have an ADHD, autistic brain, that your ADHD is like all over the place, like a squirrel looking for the nut that they just buried 2 minutes ago. And then your autistic side of it is like, well, you need to be punctual. You need to make sure you have a list. You need to make sure that you've checked everything on the list. It's Thursday again, so you better make sure you vacuum the kitchen. It's Monday. It's rice bowl night, no matter what. And after a while, it just seems like I don't want to do any of that. So I'm going to try to use the Hobonichi Avec the rest from July to December differently. I've been trying to come up with something, but right now I'm not going to force myself like, you better come up with something before July 1st, because that's not how my brain works. So I guess I'm just trying to put out this mumble jumble of words today in case someone else is feeling this or just needs to hear someone else rambling about it. I would love to start a conversation with you, either through chatting here on YouTube or over on my Instagram post. And in the future, I would love to, I know people say interview, so I say would have on my podcast. Your face wouldn't be shown. We would meet up through Zoom and I'd record, but then the actual conversation would be faceless. because at times I have a hard time showing my face. I have to kind of put a social media mask on to do that. Anyhow, I thought it'd be great to talk to fellow ADHDers or people that are ADHD and autistic or just autistic, and how this comes about for you. How do you feel mid-year? I'm trying to look back, and I didn't really feel it that much last year, but the year before I did, and for sure through COVID. I think COVID just messed everything up for us. And we are still trying to navigate how we're supposed to be socially, in person, through work, through relationships, through just finding a community. So that's just my rambling thoughts about mid-year burnout. I hope I will learn how to learn more coping mechanisms, or learn how to teach people coping mechanisms when it comes to this, when I start school in the fall for my mental health counseling degree. And I hope what I learn in school, then I can blend in my creativeness, yeah, that's the word, and my art, and share it with others, because I've always heard this from other people, that you never know what you put out there might be just the one thing someone was needing or wanted to hear. And when I think, I'm just like, oh, what's the point of doing this? I get these wonderful messages in my DM on Instagram saying how it's inspiring to them, how they enjoy listening to what I have to say. So thank you for that, and that does give me encouragement. So just putting it out there for anyone else. And if you would love to be on my podcast here in the future, please DM me over on Instagram at paperpensan, and we'll go from there. I'm going to try to get a form up within the next month, and then I'll officially announce it. So if you've made it this far through this almost 8 minutes, please put down your favorite emoji, and what do you do to get yourself out of mid-year burnout. I'll catch you in the next one.